the most important concept now, a very difficult concept. These three terminologies, all of you need to remember: research methodology, research method, and research design. These three terminologies. The next concept is the three terminologies, three giant difficult terminology: research methodology, research method, research design. Research methodology, research method, research design. Please write it down. Everyone, write it down. Research methodology, research method, research. So what is the difference between these three terminologies? What is research method? What is research methodology? What is research design? So let's talk about this. Research methodology. So let's say we have Komal and Advait. Okay. So Advait is a scientist and Komal is an assistant. Okay. So Advait gave Komal a project. Okay. So if I have any, yeah, I do have something. Okay. So let's say this is Komal, okay, and this is Advait, okay. So Advait is the boss. Advait is the boss. Komal is the secretary or the assistant. Now Advait comes to Komal and says, "Okay, do your project, start your project, and I'll come back to you." So Komal is now working on a project. She has discovered a medication, how to treat tuberculosis. So she discovers a medication. This is Komal. She discovers a medication for tuberculosis, a new medication, and this is Advait. He is the boss. He is the scientist. He comes to this associate scientist Komal and says, "Komal, your project of tuberculosis, you have discovered a new medication for tuberculosis. What is your research methodology?" So Komal says, "Sir, I will go to the patient. I'll have him sign the consent form. I will administer the medication. I'll observe the patient, and then I will note the findings, and then I will present the findings, and I'll analyze the data. And that's how I'll research. That is my methodology, right?" Advait, the boss, says, "Wrong. This is not the answer. I ask you your research methodology." Now, Komal is confused. She's confused that he asked me the methodology. I explained the methodology, but now he's saying it's a wrong answer. Why did he say it's a wrong answer? He's right. This is a wrong answer. You know why, guys? This is a wrong answer. Because methodology, research methodology, these words, research methodology, research method, and research design, are the research language. They are research terminologies. They are not English language. Don't confuse it with English language. The biggest mistake you can do is by confusing it with English language. Okay? So when you see this word, research methodology, now research methodology actually means how do you solve the or why are you doing it? Sorry. Clear mind. Research methodology is why are you doing? What is the reason? Write it down. The reason, the logic behind your research. Why are you doing? So now Advait comes to Komal and says, "Komal, what is your research methodology?" Komal says, "To treat tuberculosis." That's the why. And Advait says, "Very good. That's the correct answer. Well done." And he leaves. That's the right answer. So I understand, guys, that in research papers, you will see the heading of methodology and they will write the method. Because on that paper, we are using the word methodology in English language. But if you see a book of research methodology, a book on basic concepts of research methods, in that book, they are using those terminologies in research. So you need to understand the difference. So remember, the answer to this question is how to treat tuberculosis, or research methodology of Komal's project is to treat tuberculosis. She wants to treat tuberculosis patients. That's her why. So the why, WHY, the why of your paper, the why of your project is research methodology. The reason, the logic, the justification behind your research is research methodology. There is another definition of research methodology, a step-by-step approach, or they say a systematic approach to conduct your research. A systematic approach to conduct your research is research methodology. I do know that this is a definition as well, but that's an English definition. We're talking about the scientific definition. It is why you're doing your research. And I like this definition. I'll explain to you why. Okay. Now the next question is, what is research methods? Now Advait comes to Komal and says, "Komal, what is your research method?" She says, "Okay, so I'll go to the patient, I'll have him sign the consent form, I'll give him the medication, and I'll note the findings. I'll then analyze the data, and then I'll write a paper. That's my method, research method." Advait says, "Very wrong." He's a supervisor. He says, "Wrong." Is he right or wrong? He's right. This is an incorrect definition. Again, she translated it in English. You are not supposed to translate it in English. Research methods is the tools and techniques needed for research project. Write it down. Research methods is the tools, TOOLS, tools and techniques needed for research. Now let's do it again. Advait comes to Komal and says, "Komal, what is your research method?" She will say, "So I have a medication, I have a placebo medication, I have the patient, I have the computer, I have the data analysis software, I have the computer, and that's my research. And I have the consent form, I have the interview questions. That's my research method. Advait says very. The tools and techniques are research methods. Tools and techniques are research methods. Tools and techniques needed for your research project are research methods. So don't ever think that the professor is asking for the methodology in English. No. Research methodology in scientific or research language is a why of your paper, the location of your paper, the justification of your project. And research methods in scientific or research language means the tools and techniques needed for your project. And the last thing is the research design. Now Advait comes and asks Komal, what is your research design? And Komal says, sir, I have everything with me. And I'll go to the patient. I'll have him sign the consent form. I'll give him the medication. I'll observe the patient. Then I'll note the findings. I'll write down the findings. I'll analyze the data, and I'll write a paper and I'll publish them. That's my research design. And Advait says, very good, Komal. You're right. That's research design. So this is research design. The step-by-step process is research design. So write it down, everyone. Research methodology is the why of your project. Research methods is the tools and techniques needed for your project. And research design is the step-by-step process, a blueprint of your research, the map, blueprint of your research. Everyone is clear? I'll repeat again. Research methodology is the why, the justification behind your research, the why. Why are you doing your project? Research methods is the tools and the techniques needed for your research project. And the last thing is research design. This is the step-by-step process, the blueprint of your project. This is research design.